I found my husband in the background of a local celebrity's Instagram post with another woman at a local restaurant when he was supposed to be out of town. Now, I am making him move out. I don't know what to do. We had our baby 6 weeks ago when he told me about his business trip. I got a little upset because I'm all alone here, and this is our first child, so I don't know what we're doing most of the time. However, I couldn't just refuse to let him go because I knew when I met him that traveling was part of his job, so he left. He's very supportive otherwise, very happy about being a father, and he called us maybe 5 to 6 times a day to see if we're doing alright. Last night, I was scrolling down IG, and there he was in the background of a local celebrity I followed. He was sitting in a restaurant with his friend from uni, the woman who always disliked me and whom he told me not to worry about. He's been on this trip since Monday and should return on Monday. I'm so heartbroken. I don't know what to do. I will talk to him when he gets home, but what are my options afterward? I'm a stay-at-home wife right now, and I haven't worked since I graduated 5 years ago. My husband makes a good living and didn't think me working was necessary. I don't have a family except him. If I leave him, how will I fend for my son? Who is going to take care of him if I start working? I feel so trapped. Update: my husband is home now. It was what I feared. As I said, my husband's work involves a lot of traveling, and he usually does a video tour in his hotel room for me or sends me some pictures. This time, he didn't. So yesterday, when he called, I asked him to FaceTime me to see our son. He told me to wait because the room was messy, and he called after 5 minutes. We talked, and he saw our son, and then I asked him for a mini tour. He showed me some parts, and I took some screenshots. My husband laughed about me taking screenshots and was a bit confused. It isn't unusual for me to do it anyway, so he didn't make a fuss. Later, I went to hotels.com and started comparing pictures. I found the hotel within 15 minutes. It's less than 10 minutes from our place. It was a bit late, but I took my son and went anyway. The front desk didn't want to tell me what room he was in. I asked her to tell him to come down, but she refused to, since it was midnight. I texted him to come down to the reception. When he came down, he felt like he was seeing a ghost. I told him to take me to his hotel room now. He refused and asked me to go home and that he would explain everything later. I told him if he didn't take me to his room now and without warning his friend, I would scream. I don't know why I wanted to see her. Even after finding out he's been in town all this time and seeing the look on his face, I still wanted to catch them to drive the message home so my heart wouldn't cave to his excuses and explanations that he was already starting on. He refused, however, to take me up, so I just left with my baby. He came home maybe an hour after me and wanted to talk and explain when I was ready. I'm not ready yet. I asked him to move out and leave me alone for now. He agreed. I don't know why he did this. Why did he marry me? I'm 29, and he's 39. His mistress is 39. She's a single mom, and they're more compatible. They get along very well, and they love each other. So why didn't he just be with her instead and save us all the heartbreak? Honestly, what's wrong with people? Update 2. My husband has agreed to move out of our apartment. Since we have a prenup, I'm essentially not entitled to anything, but he has offered me the condo since I have nowhere to go. I told him I needed more assurance that the apartment was for me and my son. He will transfer the deeds in my name, whatever that means. I will also get alimony or allowance, or whatever it's called, until my son is old enough to start looking for jobs. All of this conversation was recorded. On Monday, I will talk to a lawyer to make sure that what my husband promised me will happen. In return, he asked me for separation and not divorce for 2 years. I agreed. About the other woman, I don't know if finding out more is worth my energy. They have been FWB when they were single but never had a relationship. They've known each other for 20 years. I didn't want to hear anything about them. I always had my suspicions. He made the usual excuses about her, which meant nothing. It was a mistake, and this was their first time. He felt neglected, and I wasn't as interested in him as before the baby. He swore he never slept with her during our marriage until this week. I don't believe him. If they end up together, I wouldn't be surprised even though he assured me it would never happen because he doesn't love her. Update 3. I texted his friend that she's an ugly, pathetic, cheap HOE who always hated me and always was jealous of me. That even if she ended my marriage and ruined my happiness and the chance for my baby to grow up with both his parents and the future siblings we've planned, she will never have my husband because she's an ugly, pathetic, cheap HOE. It has never happened. It will never happen. But if her goal in life was to sneak around in hotels with married men, then congratulations. I told her I wished what she got from him was worth ruining my life but that I was happy that I at least didn't need to have her in my life again. I didn't feel any better, to be honest, and regret stooping so low. She texted me back, a picture of her and my husband at the hotel with the winking emoji. I forwarded it to my husband. This was yesterday. He showed up around dinner and told me everything. He slept with her during our relationship. He told me he was sorry and that he was relieved now I knew everything because she couldn't hold it against him anymore. I kicked him out. I regret knowing all this. We had our first meeting with the lawyers today. The prenup covers my husband's assets up until we got married. He comes from a wealthy family. I'm not to touch any of that. My husband is self-made. However, I'm entitled to 50% of everything he made since we married. My husband also offered our apartment as an apology, even if the apartment was from his family, and he would pay child support. It's all I need right now and much more than I expected. Divorce takes a couple of years or even more sometimes, especially when children are involved. I think my husband lives with the hope that I'll forgive him. I know he's always been generous, but he must have some kind of hope to make me this offer because it can't be just remorse. He apologized for hurting me, and I can't even describe how lonely and devastated I am right now. He and my son are my only family, and I've lost him and all for what? I can't believe I still love him so much, and since he moved out, I haven't stopped crying. I miss him.